Welcome to the Goodwood Revival Proxy 2024, hosted on Slot Racer Forum, and today I'm going to do a close-up of each of the cars before they do the final round tomorrow at the Manx Slot Car Club here in the Isle of Man. And the first car out of the box is Al's Camaro. As you can see, I've got two cameras set up this time. Let's hope it does all right. Anyway, Al's Camaro. This is in event 2. It's got a very interesting chassis. Very interesting. I'm not sure what it is, but I do like the body mount where you just take it out like that. That's quite nice, that, and it's held in firmly. Right, he's got independently rotating fronts. It's running a Predator motor, slot 8 gears, and I think it's a Scalextric body. Now, I took the liberty of just having a look at the top box, the top tray in the box yesterday, and this was the first one. This wheel here was quite far in. The whole thing was offset. So what I've done, I've moved that spacer, which was there, and it just so happens that that spacer, and there's a plastic, there's a locking collar with a grub screw in it there, and a plastic spacer in between that and the chassis, which is exactly the right thickness for that space. So I'm wondering whether that's where it should have gone in the first place. Anyway, it's not going anywhere, and there's not going to be any rub. There's not going to be any rub on the wheel well. It's not rubbing. He's got a vac formed interior. Yes, I could look at this chassis all day. It's quite fascinating, really. No doubt he'll let us know where on earth it came from, this chassis. Guide. Now, I always like to look at the guide slot. Let's have a look. There is quite a bit there, I must admit. I don't like to see that much personally. Everybody's different. And of course, there's no body rock on this because it's mounted with those 4 pegs. But I like bodies mounted right out here on the chassis and not front and back, as the original mounts would have it. Got the state of the tyres after 8 rounds. That one looks pretty good. That one, as you can see, that wheel's been rubbing against the inside wheel arch earlier in the Proxy. It's only 4 minutes to go of racing, so I'm quite sure it'll survive. That's Al's Camaro number 9. Right, next car. This is Paul's, yes. Paul C. Alfa Alfa GTV, sorry, and this is car number 3 in event 2. Staff's wheels, of course. You don't get any extra points for that, I'm afraid. Right, chassis. This is an Amato, as you can see by our event sponsor. Slot it in line for a flat 6 by the looks of it. Actually looks like it's a flat 6. It's a yellow motor, so that's going to be about 19 to 20k. Right, guides. Oh, that's nice. Very little. That's excellent. Right, front wheels. Solid axle. Glued and trued and coated, hard coated. Rears. Not quite sure what these tyres are. What do they look like after 8 rounds of the Proxy? Pretty good. Quite grippy. Slotted crown, as it's an inline. Right. Bit of pod movement there. Body movement. Right, so where's the body mounts here? Alright, 2 at the back, 1 in the middle at the front. A little bit of movement. It's more on this side than that side, but that'll be the rear screw. He's still got the original interior in there, I think, by the looks of it. Yes, I quite like the look of these. Right. Do it that way around so you can see it. So that's okay. That's binding. Let's just have a look on the. Let's just put it on a flat surface. Yeah, that wheel could do with coming down a bit. The chassis is not sitting flat. Sorry, it's not sitting parallel. Yeah, that wheel's up in the air, you can just see it. I'll give that a tweak. But will it catch if I... Yeah. That might have been holding this car back. Right. Well, it will roll. Yeah, but just for next time. It will roll. It's not like it's binding horribly. Next car. Is Banger's Rover SD1 car number 12 in event 2. It's an old Scalextric Rover. I rally one of these with one of my 3D chassis, so they're nice and wide. Which so he's got a vac formed interior. Oh, I see. Talking about rally. Co-driver taking notes for next time. These are available quite readily on eBay. Right, chassis is HRS2 slotted multi-adjustable chassis. Now, interestingly, I've not used one of these motors. He's got a Scale Auto Tech 1. Right, front axle. Well, let's hang on. Guide first, Kev. Guide. Slotting plus guide. Not too bad. Not too bad. A little bit. Solid front axle. No binding there. Let's have a look at these tyres after 8 rounds. Well, they look, just looking at them, they look like soft rubber. They are super sticky, yeah. Slotted crown. Right, body mount on this. He's got rear centre mounted, and at the front, oh, there, body post there. Quite often you can, with this chassis, it comes with these side mouldings which you glue to the inside of the chassis, body shell, but the the sills don't come down far enough on this particular body to glue it to. So you could have extended it like a MR slot car Corvette C1 and incurred the wrath of the rivet counters. Right, what kind of, yeah, it's got a nice bit of flex there. His cars always go well, so I'm expecting this to go well. What about body movement? Super loads, and if anything, a little bit too much. But his cars always go well, so you can see got quite a lot of movement there, but nothing binding, nothing catching. Anybody else got Christmas songs in their head? Yeah. Oh, I see. I did a piece of plastic in here to tidy it up a little bit. So what are those inserts then? Resin cast maybe? Come on, focus camera. Ignore the writing. Right, okay. Next car. Is Team Cubes for Capri, car 22 and event 2. Very nice. Let's have a close up. I'm sure the camera is focusing on the writing. Move it out of the way. Come on, camera. Focus on the job. Oh, where's your back? Right. So, windows. 1, 2, 2. Maybe they're in the bag of bits in the bottom of the box. Another one set up for rally. And let's have a look underneath. Okay. This one's got a... Oh, I think Kev does his own 3D stuff, doesn't he? So that'll be one of his chassis. And inline pod for a slim can. Slotted crown. I like these wheels. Right, it's got solid front axle. So where's his mount? So it's got one mount there and one mount there. A lot of body movement, which is great on a plastic rally track, but not perfect for circuit racing. If that was mine, I'd be putting an insert against the body shell there for the chassis to sit against when the body rocks over, so it sits on it. That's just going to flop about. Now that motor, what was that? One of them Predator. That feels really nice. Be interesting to drive that tomorrow. Right, pod movement. Not much. It's good to see 3D printed pods. I've actually got one in my Camaro as well, but not, this is filament printed. Scale auto guide. Right, movement. Pretty good. I like that. I do like that. Those wheels set it off, don't they? So what does that look like on the block? See, what I was meaning about the body flopping about, that won't be doing it any favours. Great on a rally track where you're just quickly changing direction every 2 seconds, or even less, 1 second. I think that might unsettle the handling on a fast track. Next car. Let's have a slurp of my tea. Cup of tea. Right. So the setup I've got here, I've got 2 Logitech webcams. Got one of the cheap 920s, and I've got a stream cam, and the stream cam is this one, which is supposedly HD quality, but the other camera isn't HD, so I can't run the software. I'm using a program called Logi, I think it's called Logi Capture, and it can't choose the two different qualities, so I have to go down to 720 by 50, I think it is. Right, next car, Ruscillo Racing Camaro, car number 6, event 2. Is this a Scaly or a... oh, it's a Pioneer, this one. With the full original interior as well. Right, let's turn it over. As you can see, standard Pioneer setup. It might even have the standard motor in there as well. Right, let's have a look at the guide. Yeah, quite a bit of movement. Right, front axle, solid front axle. Rear, it's even running the original gears, the original plastic gears. That's brave. We've recently started a Saturday Scalextric club for out of the box cars, and there's nothing wrong with the original gears on Pioneers, Scalextric. They run fine. Okay, they're not up to running against NSRs and quick slot hits, but yeah, they get a lot of stick criticism, and it's opened my eyes racing these standard cars. Right, what are the tyres like after 8 rounds of the Proxy? Let's have a look. Come on, camera, do your job. Focus. That's the fella. Not too bad. I don't think they're trued. Nice and grippy though. You can see he's got a big chunk of weight in here, which makes sense. These don't have a pod. Let's see if there's any flex in the chassis. A wee bit. If you slacken that screw a little bit, it might give you a couple of thou more movement. Right, body movement. What we got? A body. Let's put it on the base. Yeah, you've got a lot of clearance. You've got a, where's the body? Oh yeah, body mounts on these are 2 at the back, 2 at the front. Yeah, you could skim the body posts in the in the body to probably gain another nearly 2mm there to the top of the, from the wheel to the wheel arch. Which would lower the centre of gravity. Same with the front. That body could be lowered and it would improve things a little bit. But you might be limited because it's got the original interior. You can't drop it because the interior sits on these two bits of the chassis here. Those wheel inserts look good. I've got two different ones. Okay, still look good though. Next car. Next car is very interesting. Now this is going to be 3D printed. I've got a file for this. Right, and it's Makem Movers Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Car 25 and Event 2. Back in the late 70s, 79, maybe 1980. I bought a yellow one of these with a black vinyl roof, a Dolly Sprint, and they were quite quick in the day. Bit of a rust bucket, but yeah, I quite enjoyed driving it for a while. Right, less talking and let's start looking. Come on, camera, focus. Right. Yeah, this has been printed on end like that because you can see the layer lines. You can see the print layer lines. Well, you could do if the camera focused. Right, there you go. Yeah, see the layer lines. But it's done well to smooth it up a bit because it's not the best file in the world, I have to admit, the one that's available online. I like the wheels. Again, Staffs to the rescue. This one's just a driver, but you could turn it into a rally car. Yeah, bit of binding there on that one. How about together? Well, it's okay when it's sitting on both, but on the corners that's going to be binding. Guide a little bit. Right, let's have a look at this interesting chassis then. Very interesting. Looks like a two-piece. I think this is one of John May's chassis. JS. Very interesting. So he's got the body mount is one at the back, one at the front. There's obviously some kind of bar across the top of the chassis there. Slotted flat 6 motor, slotted crown. Body movement. Let's have a look at this chassis then. Oh, okay. Very nice. Okay, let's move the body rather than the middle of the chassis. Okay. So the whole of the outside of the chassis rolls with the rolls with the body and the middle section. Quite like that. That's very interesting. And then at the back you can just see it's got leaf springs in there, and you just inside here and here, which is used for quite a long time. But they look like a separate item. You can't see properly. They look like a separate part. I don't know what they do. Right, the body is actually fixed quite rigidly. So that mount there is going to be locked up tight. There's no movement there. Very little. And that's going to be the same there. But very interesting. I like that. This is one of the Spirit of the Proxy nominees as well. So to me, Spirit of the Proxy is a car that has been entered with a hell of a lot of work by the looks of it. Right round, there's very little that's been bought here. So I like that. I'm going to bear that one in mind for the Spirit Award, which he has won before, Jerry. And that concludes the top tray number 1. So I'm going to stop recording and start a new one for the next layer.